What's going on? In this video, I'm going to turn this piece of scrap into a piece of scrap that I spent a bunch of time on. Or we'll unbox some router accessories for the Milwaukee M18 router. Yeah, stay tuned. Cup of ramen. What's going on? So, if any of you watch on Instagram, I'm working on a small kitchen. This is the drop from the sink cutout. Why not turn it into a butcher block cutting board? Since it's gonna be butcher block countertops, might as well have a cutting board. It's nice and heavy. Oil this thing up, be good to go. So, let's actually get into the point of this router, the M18 router. I'll be right back. There you go. Right, you're just gonna pick this heavy ass thing up. Ooh, YouTube strike. Heavy thing up and run it through there. But you're not. So we're gonna take the crate cap router. We're gonna go ahead and pull it out. And I've left my base mounted to this. And as soon as I did that, I said to myself, well, that's gonna be a pain in my butt, right? Because now I gotta freehand it. And that's just not gonna work. So, I picked up a couple accessories. Let's go ahead and open them. Honestly, part of the reason I bought some of these is because I was gonna do a pack out. I didn't want to cut the foam without all the accessories that I was gonna have. So I went ahead and bought a couple. So this is the offset base. Okay, it's the 4810-5602. Okay, we'll get that open. And then I'm gonna show you the compact router plunge base, 48-10-5601. This is what I wanted the most. So let's take a look-see. Cool, okay, so like I said, it's a plunge base, right? You've got a depth gauge. You can turn and set this where you want it to be. You can also have this little guy set up, if you've ever used a plunge, so that when you do plunge, you set this, okay? You lock it down, and then when you plunge, it basically goes down that point, and you can remember that point, right? Pretty cool. You can also have it to where then you can go down a little bit more to the next setting, and a little bit more to the next. So say you wanted to do 3 passes, set your depth, or I guess you could say more than 3, but set your depth to your lowest, like that. Then release your plunge. Okay, now plunge down to your highest setting, lock it, and you route. You can take a small amount at a time, set it to your next setting, go down, route. You can do your next setting. You keep go deeper until you get to your final increment that you wanted to be at. So plunge bases are awesome. It also includes this little bar. This is good if you want to ride against a fence. It gives you a nice flat, pull it up to you guys. Gives you a nice flat square section to go against. So say for example, if we wanted to route like a meat, like a drainage trough around the outside of this, you could. The other thing you've got is if you want some extra dust collection, this guy, which you drop in and then you slide this guide back and it locks it in there. And now you have dust collection. So that's pretty sweet. What's next? The offset. Can't tell you the best reasons that you would want an offset base, but I can tell you one reason that I would use it. If you're trying to route up next to, say you're using a router to plunge in for a vent register. And if you've ever noticed that the vents are pretty close to your baseboard, this unit gets this all the way to the outside. It's like 3/4 of an inch, as opposed to 2 inches to the most that sticks out on this side, and 3 inches to this, and that's not even one of these, which is like 3.5, 4 inches. So you get this little adapter that goes in your cullet, and that drops down in that square drive, and then you move your cullet head, your nut, over to here, and you put your router bit in there, and boom, offset base. So I got this, like I said, because I'm going to outfit my Packout with the Kaizen foam. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do foam. But too bad. We're going to do foam. So I'm going to go ahead, actually, and I'm going to get a battery. I'm going to throw some safety glasses on, and let's see what this router can do on this board. Okay, let's do this. I am going to take the dust collection off. And what I'm going to do is, I've got my depth set up. I'm going to do 2 passes. I'm going to do it once at this. This is an 18 volt. This thing has a lot of power, but we'll see. We're going to do one. You know what? Actually, let's just do it. We're going to do 1 pass with it at the full depth and see how it looks. So that's pretty good. That's an M18. That is a 6 amp, XC60 battery. So let's go ahead, let's do another pass. Nice thing about this M18 is if you're ever looking for a place to put your router, especially if you put, well, I don't know why you wouldn't have a battery on it, but put a battery on it and it holds itself, stands up. So there we have it. That is a simple way to route that. The Plunge makes it a lot easier. You certainly could obviously just use the original base that came with it, but with the Plunge, you can see I have better handles. I have something to hold on to. This butcher block material, it's a little heavy, but it's not a super hardwood. It's not really any hardwood. But so it didn't really have any hard time. The only time it burned was when I had to slow down because I was sliding around because the bench got dusty. So yeah. Okay, you know what I've decided? Let's go ahead and add the details. So you guys haven't seen these router bits inside of one of the Bippins. Ooh, heck yeah. So when I first came up with this, I modified Ben's design. Actually, not when I modified Ben's design. And I've got 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna change all of this to just be those instead of these little cubbies like this. There's my first. Sorry, that's my first attempt. I think that was honestly too deep. There's my second. So we'll want to go somewhere in between that. But what I will do is I'll pop this back up, and then I put a line on here and a fence, clamp it down. So let me go get my fence. Okay, first time trying it with this. Let's see what we do. I've got my start line, I've got my stop line, I've got my first depth set, very shallow. Let's give it a try. like is I'm probably going to keep that depth. It's basically 1 inch in. So I have to move my fence and I have to set a 1 inch line on each side, and I'm good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and move my fence and do the rest. Looks pretty good. Now I got to do this way. So there you go. What did we learn? The battery makes a great stand. I like ramen. And buy an offset base if you're trying to make your full Packout, because that's all the accessories that they make for the M18 router. So I hope you like this one. I wanted to show you the tool and what I bought it for and what I would use it for, instead of just showing you the tool. So, yeah. Do you want to say anything?
Packout.
Oh, I guess we're done. Packout. Have a good one.